Welcome to Star Citizen. So this game has tremendous amount of bugs, and how do you really deal with them all? So let's start from the start. Getting out of the bed or your spawn. This can bug out. You can run towards the corridor and you can be teleported back. You can clip through the world, you can fall through the space, you can fall through the ground. If you truly fear this, well, you can stand still in a bed for like 10-20 seconds and then get up. Then stand for a couple of seconds, and if everything works, you should be good. Next up, we have a bit rarer elevator bug, which can be like the elevator doors won't open, you cannot enter it, it has invisible doors. You can't really avoid this, but you can try calling another elevator, because usually only one of them is bugged, and the other one should still work. If it doesn't, exiting the game and entering back in a few will help. Now, another common bug that happens is that you looted the NPCs on your last gameplay, last time you played. You looted some armor, some weapons, and now they are gone. This you really can't do anything against. You can try to avoid it by storing some of these items into your local inventory, but even that doesn't always work. Just in case, I always put whatever I looted inside my local inventory, because there it is more likely to stay with you. That's why you might always want to check if you're wearing a helmet or something at least. Another issue that can happen in these stations if you move fast enough is that the area is not loaded in. You might not see everything here. It might be a gray blur, or it may be see-through or something like that. Just let it think a little and it should work. And perhaps one of the more annoying bugs that I have here at the moment. As you can see, this little ship here is clipped through the ground with one of its landing gears, and it's kind of forcing it to spaz out. It can work, like sitting into the pilot seat, turning on the ship, trying to fly a little, and then, well, bring up the landing gear. This usually helps, but there are also other scenarios that can happen. Scenarios like this: your ship is above you and it's just spazzing out. It may be higher, it may be lower. You might not reach it. There are two options here. Either store your ship and try to recall it, or you should do a relog. There are some specific landing pads that can have this issue, but it's more likely a specific problem with specific ships. One of the more annoying bugs that can happen is when you're doing something like deliveries or visiting a mining station's little bunker, or some place on some planet where it is actually windy. So inside the rooms it's not windy, and outside your tractor may have trouble walking. Now, why is this an issue and what can it cause? It's quite simple. You can get staggered, you can be blown away, and you may be knocked away so hard, or it may bug out so badly that you may be knocked a little and get totally knocked down, needing a medical recovery. You may also just be unlucky and receive some damage. It mostly happens when exiting a bunker or a ship, so a safe way to do it is crouch and walk out. This way the stagger will have minimal effect on you, if any. And I myself have never died using this method. Some have also jumped out, having a slight effect from the stagger, but I wouldn't suggest that. And since we are doing a delivery mission, let's talk about that as well. If you do a drop-off into this machine like you see here, it is suggested that you put it there and wait a little. Don't just start moving around, don't start going after the second box or whatever you have there. That way, it might teleport back into your hands and cause greater problems. For example, you not being able to place it in there and this mission probably being bugged out. This game truly has a lot of bugs we need to consider. For example, the bunkers. You may want to land behind them for safe measures, because sometimes these turrets can, well, strike at your ships as if they were hostiles. The elevator bug in the bunkers can also be a nasty one. For example, we set our elevator to go down and it actually doesn't. If this happens, there is no direct solution for this. You will either just need to abandon this mission or relog above atmosphere and try again. Usually this issue happens in specific servers where the elevator has been bugged out by another player, someone doing a mission down here who has died, or something similar. There isn't any direct solution for it and it can ruin your day. So inside the bunker, first-person combat can also bug out to an extent. For example, if you have all of your weapon slots full and you're carrying another weapon, meleeing an opponent can cause an issue. It might take longer, you might be exposed, you might not be able to do anything. There are little bugs that can be very dangerous for you if you plan to do a dedicated bunker run. NPCs might teleport back and forth, they might not spawn in, they might get stuck in the elevator while the doors are closed. That can be to an extent solved. If they get stuck, you can try to melee all the elevators. The melee takedown with a knife through the doors sometimes does work. Or they might not just spawn in at all. There are several bugs that can happen. Sometimes these missions can fail themselves. Sometimes camping in the corners you can even clip to the ground, fall through the ground. The same thing can happen with derelicts. You can just run through derelicts and stumble upon a little fence, a little corner. You'll get spazzed through the ground, you might get stuck underneath the ship, you might get stuck into walls, or you might just fall through the ground and eventually die. In the bunkers, standing between the hostiles and friendlies can be dangerous, because hostiles will definitely fire upon you and friendlies may try to fire upon the hostiles, hitting you. There are way too many scenarios in this game to happen, and the list of these bugs that can occur is tremendous. Even in caves when trying to climb up, you might not get a grip for a while. Another possible thing that may happen is that your ship despawns out here. That is rather rare as of lately, but it used to be pretty important. Throwing grenades used to be a really big problem, as the grenades could sometimes get stuck to you and running away wouldn't do any help because they were stuck inside you. Usually giving the game a little time to think solves plenty of these problems and allows you to get a lot smoother experience. There are more bugs than I listed here, but these are the most common ones. Anyway, thanks for watching.